Cinnamon Toast Crunch shrimp? A few years ago, Cinnamon Toast Crunch got in some heat because a consumer said that they found shrimp tails inside the box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. How would shrimp tails get inside of a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Cinnamon Toast Crunch came out with a press statement saying they were not shrimp tails, they were just collections of the sugar and the cinnamon that kind of formed something that looked like shrimp tails. If you ask me, in the pictures, they totally look like shrimp tails. But when I saw this story, I thought, Cinnamon Toast Crunch and shrimp? That sounds delicious. So on this episode of Smash or Pass, we're gonna try to take Cinnamon Toast Crunch, combine it with a coconut shrimp, and use that for the breadcrumbs. For the full ingredient list, check the description box below, but let's try this cooking experiment and see what happens.
Here we go with this Cinnamon Toast Crunch. First step, taste test, making sure that this is just as good as it was when I was a kid. And it definitely is. The flavors in this are unbelievable. Sweet, cinnamony, they nailed it all. So let's get this in the food processor and spread it out nice and evenly. And we're going to start to pulse this down just a little bit at a time to get it down to a crumble consistency. We want to stop before this turns into a powder. And then we're going to take this, we're going to throw this in a nice wide hotel pan. This is going to make breading the shrimp really easy. I'm just going to go through it with my hands and break up any crumbles that are a little bit bigger than I want them to be. Now we're going to throw in some sweetened coconut flakes. I'm choosing the sweetened stuff because I think it has a more distinct coconut flavor, and this isn't a healthy recipe to begin with, so we're going all out here. No corners cut. This also isn't going to be a masterclass on frying things. I really don't fry a lot of stuff, but I do watch a lot of videos where people fry stuff, so the first step to frying stuff is making a nice seasoned flour. So we're going to use an all-purpose flour, some of my base seasoning, which is a blend of garlic powder, onion powder, salt, and pepper. There's a link to the video recipe in the description. And here's a little smoked paprika for some color and for that beautiful smoky flavor. And now we're going to take out a whisk, or you can also use a fork for this, but we're going to break up any of the large clumps of flour, and we're going to mix in all that seasoning that we just put in. Frying stuff with a breadcrumb coating is a pretty straightforward process. It's make a seasoned flour, then an egg wash. So we're going to put these eggs inside of a bowl, and we're simply going to scramble them and make sure that they're really nice and well scrambled. This is going to be the liquid portion that we're going to dip these in right before they go in that beautiful Cinnamon Toast Crunch and coconut mixture. So I think that frying stuff is a little bit of a messy process, so you're going to want to organize yourself really nicely and neatly. So I got my flour in one bowl, I got the egg wash right next to it, and then I got this really large hotel pan that makes this breading process really easy. And so a couple shrimp at a time, because this is going to take forever if I just do it with one hand and one shrimp, or they're going to go from the seasoned flour into the egg wash, and then into the Cinnamon Toast Crunch and coconut mixture. And it's going to be a quick dip in each one. And then when it goes in the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I'm really trying to pat that in there to make sure it's well coated. And each one is going to go on top of a baking sheet lined with aluminum foil and parchment paper to help me on cleanup. But you can see that I'm being really organized, nice and neat before we get these beautiful little suckers fried up. So in this high rim pan, I'm going to heat some oil over a medium heat, and once the oil is shimmering a little bit, we're going to arrange these in there one at a time, working nice and neat in batches. These are only going to take a couple of minutes each side. Please don't turn your head, because all of the sugar inside the Cinnamon Toast Crunch and the coconut is going to caramelize really quickly on the bottom of this pan. But I'm using a fork. A fork is definitely your preferred tool to maneuver these around. You can easily flip them. You can get underneath, and the fork, because of the tines, is not going to hold the oil like a spoon. So once these fry for just a minute or two each side, we're going to pull these out, and we're going to use the fork just like a spatula, and they're going to go right on a plate that's been lined with paper towel to catch up any of that excess oil. And now we're going to work through our second batch. And I was efficient that I was able to do this in just 2 batches. If you have to do a third, I might want to clean out the oil, because then some of the stuff in there is going to start to get a little burned. But I think we can stretch this oil for 2 batches. And as you're doing stuff in batches, use what you learned on the first batch to get a little bit better on the second batch. And I think this second batch came out just a little bit nicer than the first. but the crust on the outside of these looks absolutely unbelievable. The smell in this kitchen, it smells like a carnival in here. So good. So now, while these are cooling off, let's make a quick dipping sauce. So this is just some sweet chili sauce. You could find this in the international or Asian food aisle in the supermarket. And originally, I went to get apricot preserves, but post-COVID, you could go to the supermarket and any ingredient that you probably need is not going to be there. They didn't have any apricot preserves, so I got this peach mango preserve. That sounded absolutely unbelievable to mix with the sweet chili sauce. So just 2 store-bought ingredients. You mix that, and you got this wonderful dipping sauce. So these have had a chance to cool. The outside of these is like glass right now. Look how straight these shrimp are standing up. Arrange these all nice and neat. And then a little bit of that dipping sauce to bring this taste test home. And I don't know about you, but I think this is a total winner. And whether this recipe makes the family recipe book or we never make this again, I had a lot of fun making this video.
On quick visual inspection, these shrimp look unbelievable. Super crispy. The coating looks absolutely unbelievable. It's sticked fantastic. It smells really, really good in here. This dipping sauce is going to match perfectly with these, so let's see how these taste. I am so pumped for this bite. That is a super tasty coconut cinnamon toast shrimp. Or is it cinnamon toast coconut shrimp? Cinnamon toast crunch coconut shrimp. Whatever you want to call it, it's absolutely delicious. And in the spirit of things, I'm going to eat the fried tail too, because it's super duper delicious. That's so good. I'm going in for another one. If they served these shrimp at restaurants, people go nuts over them. I don't know if this video is going to start a viral food trend, but I'm giving a big, huge thumbs up to Cinnamon Toast Crunch breaded coconut shrimp. Really, really good. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments section what other food experiments you'd like me to try. If there's any weird things that you've seen out there and you're unsure how to cook them or if they would even be good at all, let me know in the comments section. Check out some of my other videos that you can find here, and I'll see you there. Thanks.